Hello, my fellow makeup enthusiasts. Welcome back to my perfectly healthy expression of makeup enthusiasm. My name is Lainey, and I love to talk about all things related to makeup. I'm not an expert, I'm not an artist, I'm just your average, everyday, sane psycho who likes makeup a little too much. So before I get into this video, I need to very quickly tell you guys where the hell I've been. On Super Bowl Sunday, when I was editing my Ace Beauté Blossom Passion palette review video, my father became extremely sick, had to go to the hospital. He's still in the hospital, but he is expected to make a full recovery. But for about the past 5 weeks now, the past 5 weeks, it's been a traumatic experience. I don't want to go into details because my father is a private person. He would not appreciate that. And also because I like to keep my videos upbeat, and if I were to do a life update about what I've been through in the past 5 weeks, it would just be a downer. And I don't want to do that, but it's been a time. But things are looking up at long last, and they really started looking up towards the end of last week. So at that point, I was able to exhale, and my brain was free to float over to the realm of beautiful makeup. So I've been watching YouTube again. I went to Sephora recently. I went to Ulta recently. And so I know what has just been released. I know what's about to be released. And I'm so excited about it. There are so many things right now that have caught my attention. And not only do they have my attention, but I look at them and it's just SPLOOSH. That's all I can say about it. SPLOOSH. The first product that I would like to talk about is the Viseart Petite Pro Palette in number 5, Soleil. This is glorious. At least to me, it's glorious. These are my colors. And yes, I have these shades in my collection already. But I've been wanting to try Viseart for over 3 years, and I could finally justify it when they came out with these little $30 Petite palettes. They do have other colorways. I'll put them up here. So if this is not your jam, maybe one of these might be your jam. I'm really glad that I picked it up. I popped over to the Beautylish website because I needed some detangling primer, and when I went to get that, this was on the front page of the website, and I had to have it. Moving on to the products that I do not have, and this one has not even been released yet. Urban Decay is coming out with a Game of Thrones collection. Now, you probably already know that. I was over the moon when I found out about that because I love Game of Thrones. I love Urban Decay. I don't give a fuck if this collection sucks a bag of ass. I will buy it. Yes, I am that much of a geek. I have a feeling that some of the shadows may be too dark for my liking. Based on this picture and based on the fact that Urban Decay's recent eyeshadow palettes have not really been my cup of tea. Like I said, I don't care. I just love Game of Thrones. Does anyone else love Game of Thrones? You know you do. So let's play Fuck, Marry, Kill. For me, fuck used to be Euron Greyjoy. Not because he's a bad boy. I actually don't really like bad boys, but because of the guy liner. Hot. But then he said that thing about a finger in the bum, and that killed it for me. He's gross now. So I would marry Samwell Tarly. I love an intellectual. I think he's cute. He could use some guy liner. But aside from that, I think that I would be a very good match for him, and I think he would be a very good match for me. So let's say I would marry and fuck Sam. I would kill Littlefinger. Oh, fortunately. But oh, that guy just gives me the ever-living creeps. He is so slimy. I have known so many men in my life who behave just like that, and it's disgusting. Next up, we have a new release from one of my other favorite brands, Violet Voss. That's right. We have the Sugar Crystals palette. This is gorgeous. I went over to the Sephora website, I think a couple of days ago, fully intending to purchase this, and it's sold out. So hopefully it will come back in stock before I lose interest, because I do tend to lose interest when I can't get my hands on something. This palette really reminds me of the Urban Decay Distortion palette, which I never picked up, mainly because I have the Kat Von D Alchemist palette, so I couldn't justify it. So why now am I hell-bent on getting the Sugar Crystals palette when I never bought the Distortion palette from my husband? Well, it's because the shades in the Distortion palette are kind of dark and they are shimmers. And so I don't really see the point in putting toppers over shimmers. Whereas I think most of the shades in the Violet Voss palette are mattes. I think, I could be wrong, but they're bright. Whereas the shades in the Distortion palette are a little bit darker, so they don't appeal to me as much. Whatever, I'm getting this. As soon as it comes back in stock, this will be mine. Next, you knew I was gonna talk about this. Anastasia Beverly Hills finally released a colorful palette. The Riviera palette. Oh, wow. I was so excited to see this and I was like, yeah, I gotta have it. And then I realized that nope, I don't need it, and I'll show you why. Because I have the Munaza palette from Blush Tribe, and these palettes are very similar, I think. I don't know. I haven't gotten a chance to meet Riviera in person yet. I went to Sephora late last week hoping that I would get to meet her, but she's not in the store yet. I think she is in the store now, but not when I went there. And you know, I like to meet a product before I take it home with me, if that's at all possible. So I think for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at pictures of makeup looks created using the Riviera palette. I will watch porn, that is makeup videos. It's makeup porn, we all know that. I will watch some Riviera porn and I will see if I can recreate those looks using the Munaza palette. If I can't, then I'm going to bump the Riviera palette up a few notches on my wish list. But if I can recreate the looks with this palette, then I'm gonna hold off on the Riviera, at least for now. So it seems like all of my favorite brands right now have new release diarrhea. And that shit is good. SUVA is coming out with a pink toned palette. This looks so beautiful. Do we need to talk about the name? We'll talk briefly. It's called Rose Period. That is a reference to a Picasso painting, but you know you were thinking about the rag. Nasty name aside, this palette looks so pretty. I love looking at it. I love thinking about what I would do with it, and that's not very hard for me to imagine because I have a really similar palette. Oh, and by the way, this is the Ace Beauté Blossom Passion palette, and it's fabulous. I did film a review of this palette, and I was editing that video the day that my dad had to go to the hospital. So I never finished editing because I had like a month of hell after that. And now that video kind of has traumatic connotations, and so I'm going to refilm it. But this is not about the Blossom Passion palette. This is about the Rose Rag palette, the Rose Rag. So Rose Rag looks absolutely gorgeous, but I'm gonna pass for now. And it isn't just because I have this very, very similar palette. It's also because I fully intend to purchase a somewhat less similar palette, the new Colourpop. I got so excited when I saw this palette on Trend Mood. Not only do I love Colourpop, not only do I love pink shadow, but this is definitely going to be affordable, and I feel like it's different enough from Blossom Passion for me to justify getting it. Or do I just want some more Colourpop? Am I a Colourpop junkie? Maybe. So I think it's time to stop talking about eyeshadow and start talking about some other makeup products. Do you guys remember how I recently freely admitted that I'm going to buy the Urban Decay Game of Thrones collection? Whether I like the makeup or not, I'm just buying it for the packaging. I'm also buying this just for the packaging. The Smashbox Crystalized Highlighter. And I know that's kind of a faux pas, that's kind of frowned upon to buy a makeup product just for the packaging. I don't give a fuck. This is beautiful. I don't care. It's $39. That's a lot to spend on a pretty package. I don't give a fuck. It's gorgeous. And I feel like that highlighter is kind of a pinky purple highlighter, which is my favorite kind of highlighter anyway. So I'm getting it. I also really want the Nars Exposed Cheek Palette. I had a chance to swatch this at Ulta the other day and I loved every shade in the palette. That's rare for me. Plus, I think it's time to give the Nars face makeup another chance. I would say about 10, 12 years ago, I had a very forgettable orgasm. And ever since then, I haven't been all that interested in blushes or highlighters or bronzers from Nars because that orgasm was so fucking boring. But these shades, at least when I swatched them, they were really pretty. So, am I getting this right away? Hell no, it's 59 bucks. That's a lot for an impulse buy, but at some point in the future, I'm gonna pick this up. It's really pretty. I also really want the Benefit Cheekleader palette, the pink one. I don't know why I've never noticed how lovely those little box blushes are, but I saw this palette, it was on the Beautylish website, and I saw the California shade. It's so pretty. Why have I never noticed this blush before? I literally have never noticed it existed. I'm not going to buy the palette even though I want it. The packaging is cute, but it's not very me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little mini California and I'm going to get a little mini Dandelion. Actually, I'm going to get the mini Dandelion Twinkle because I am a sparkly blush whore. And since I already have a little mini Hoola bronzer and those things take forever for me to go through because I don't use bronzer that much, I'm gonna get everything I actually want in this palette for half the price of the palette. Score! Last on my list of new releases that I'm splooshing over is a product by Too Faced. Pat the Puss. I've been hearing so many people make so much fun of this product, but I want it. I want to go get it right now. I didn't know that this was out. I knew that the Erica Jane collection, I think it's the Hot Mess, no, Pretty Mess, not Hot Mess, Pretty Mess. I knew that that collection was out, but I had only really noticed the eyeshadow and the highlighter, and neither of those products really wowed me. I didn't think they were bad, but they didn't wow me. I just noticed this. Oh my gosh. I can remember loving the not Too Faced, but it was Urban Decay. They made a lickable body glitter. And I have been publicly lamenting the discontinuation of that product. Well, now we have a new lickable body glitter and it will be mine. So why the hell do I want that product so badly? Am I a pervert? Am I just immature and I want it because of the name, just like I wanted Glow Job just for the name? Well, yes, the name and my immaturity is definitely part of the appeal, but I don't intend to use it for sexual purposes. That's not even an option for me right now. I just really loved that Urban Decay shimmery, lickable body glitter. Not because I used it for that, but because it was pretty and it had a really nice scent. I'm guessing that the Too Faced Pat the Puss probably has a nice scent, at least I hope so, because there's something wrong if it doesn't. I can't win. On that note, that wraps it up for today. As always, thank you so very much for watching. Follow me on Instagram. I will follow you back. Throw me a pity like, give me some encouragement to make some more videos. Very special shout out to you if you are watching this video on the toilet. And until next time, stay adorably obsessed with makeup.